Okay. What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's one of those days where we just kind of chill and talk. This is actually going to be a different one than normal. For those of you who saw the one last month, Q&A time, baby. We're going to talk about questions about me, questions about Star Citizen, questions about gaming, questions about making new content, all that kind of stuff. So, guys, I hope you're looking forward to it. It's going to be a real chill time. Not very long, a couple minutes here and there, but I've got supporters in the chat. The people, the good people. I see you, Punji. If you guys are a certain level of supporter on Patreon, you get to come to these live, but everybody else, you can just throw these questions in on the YouTube channel, on Discord, wherever I ask. But why don't we get started? Because we got some good ones today. Definitely better than last month. So, our first question, I'll take a Star Citizen question first, just to get into things. From Hey It's Me, asking, what was the reason that you got into playing Star Citizen? And then also decided to become a backer and a content creator. Oh boy. Was it personal hobbies or interests before you played the game? The first, I don't even know why. I don't know what brought me to Star Citizen, to be honest. I don't remember the first time I saw it, the first time I heard about it. Yeah, I don't really know anything about that. That was all the way back in 2013, I believe. I was coming off of my Mass Effect 3 high, you know, things were good. It's like, ooh, space operas, real nice, real exciting. Had that sense of exploring space, going to different planets, all that stuff. I was like, how can I get my fix? How can I need more. Looking around, you know, Star Wars 1313, I believe, had gotten canceled. Prey 2 had gotten canceled. Like, I just wanted a good space game, and I'm pretty sure I just stumbled across Star Citizen at one point. Now, I'd never played a game hardcore that was about playing, like, you know, flying spaceships and stuff, so that was different for me. And to be honest, that's why I'm not much of a ship person. I didn't come into this game for the ships, so yeah, that's what got me into Star Citizen. As for content creation, though, that's a whole story. That I was never doing any sort of content creation before I started doing the Star Citizen stuff. This was where I kind of got into that. But I did have some background with making music, and the making music thing was something that I loved but felt I wasn't really that great at. So because I was also DJing on the side, I'll talk more about this, but I was also DJing on the side, I figured it would be a great time for me to, like, instead of trying to make music, why don't I just take good music I like and put it to videos? And that's how I started making some videos. You can see some of the earlier cinematics I made on the channel. The next question, also from Hey It's Me. If there was one thing you could change or add to the game, what would it be? How do you even answer a question like that? Like, one thing to add to Star Citizen? Dude, I got a book. Can I say a whole book? And say that one thing is like a list? To be honest, it's got to be missions. Really, it's got to be an economy that supports missions. I realize that's two things, but like having regularly generated new missions for people to do would do so much to help this game. In fact, I made a video about this in January for supporters. Sign up down below, you can get all those videos. But I feel like missions and creating content in which they can start to show off the features they brought into the game, super important. You know, we've got things like tractor beams, we've got ship docking, we've got cargo transportation, mining, combat, we're about to get refueling, like all these things we have, but we never are forced really to use them. We always are just given a sandbox to try them out in. If they started to divert our attention, or rather, you know, funnel us into the gameplay methods that actually force us to use these cool features they brought in, I think people might appreciate those features more. Next question from Hey It's Me. Again, some good ones, man. You told us how content creation was much harder than your thermal engineering or anything else you've done. Is there a specific reason as to why it's much harder? So the main thing, honestly, that what it comes down to is just that, like, it's the same thing a lot of people who are starting a business probably deal with, that you don't have any rules. There's no guide, there's no rules. I don't know what I'm doing, right? Started a YouTube channel. It started doing well. I decided at some point, me and my wife decided that was going to be our primary, what we put all of our effort towards, because it was doing very well and it felt like there was really something special there. But when I go back to like the jobs I was doing, like let's take the most abstract thing I was doing in engineering. We were building a nano satellite docking system, and it was not easy, obviously, but when we got the assignment, they said, hey, we want you to build this docking system for 2 nano satellites. We got 3 things you need to do. First, can't have electricity or magnetism, right? No moving parts. Second, it has to all be done using the velocity that it got after it was launched from the rocket. And third, it's got to be super small. So like, even then, they're like, oh, build this crazy satellite docking system that hasn't really been made before. On larger scales, yeah. But they still had rules, And even then, we ran into something we couldn't do. We'd go to the professor. We'd go to one of the people at the company we were working with. We always had resources. But whenever I'm doing this, I never really know, like who's made a career out of a Star Citizen channel. A couple of people are, obviously, but they're in the same position I am. So... And this happens across, I think, a lot of this industry right now. YouTube, Twitch stuff, anything that's really in this new sort of social media, professional, whatever you want to call it. It's weird. And it kind of shows in the industry too. Like there's a lot of, I'm sure you guys deal with it, computer parts. There's a lot of really cool computer parts, really awesome things that just straight up don't work at some points for whatever reason. They'll just stop working. Or maybe there's some design flaws or something that was missed that you're like, if this product had been around for a couple decades, this probably wouldn't be happening. So really the hard part is just that everything is just so thrown in the pot. There's no order and there's no real guide on how to do it. And I put out a video, and I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but it's hard to put into words. I put out a video and everybody watches it and it's great and it's cool, but that video is essentially my barometer of how our lives go. So I put out a video and it does well. It's a fairly good sign that like, okay, the next couple of weeks are doing better, because those videos can prop up the entire YouTube channel, the live stream, new patrons, all that stuff. A video does bad, obviously, that's not good. Another variable on top of that is that we don't know what's good or bad for certain types of videos, I could get 5,000 views on a video and think that's great, when in reality that video should have gotten 10,000. It's just, there's so much to think about. It's a lot. I could spend a whole stream talking about that. And the final question from Hey It's Me, thoughts on pineapple pizza? I'm sorry, that's just too much mush for my crunch, I like thin crust pizza with a little bit of crunch in the bottom. And pineapples are just wet. So yeah, I don't think I love the taste of pineapple. I don't know how I feel about it with cheese and marinara sauce, but I do love the taste of pineapple. Just allergic to it. Bungie also responding to one of the earlier questions from that segment, more missions or more varied missions would be nice. Yeah, I'll always go back to that. I mean, like I said, I made a whole video about it. It's like 12 minutes long. Supporters have complete access to it. Talks about how I think that will make 2022. The missions and stuff they do. But on to the next questions by Scout99. What is your work background, like profession? This is, well, okay, yeah, background is engineering, as I was just talking about. I graduated mechanical engineering with the idea of going into aerospace. That was the goal, and I ended up actually getting to do thermodynamics engineering. So a lot of HVAC stuff, learning the chemistry of how the machines worked and how we cool air, how we heat air, how we clean air, wick it, take the moisture out, all that kind of stuff. So it was all over the place, but generally mechanical engineering is my background. During my time in Turkey, did I already have content creation as my main business, or did I work for a company? I actually was kind of doing content. Like I got to Turkey and obviously I couldn't really work with the language barrier there, language barrier, difference in culture, all that stuff. So I did have a lot of free time, and I had already started doing virtual photography. So I kind of just started also doing moving virtual photography, like shooting some cinematics, and it started to do okay. So I kept doing it, and eventually we started making money. So I worked harder and doubled down on it and kind of started to develop a brand, and it went from there. But while I was in Turkey, yeah, for probably the last year or so in Turkey, I was doing this pretty much, I wouldn't say full time, but enough, 5-6 hours a day. And over in Turkey, it was much different. I was making no more than $300 to $400 a month, but in Turkey, that was enough for us to live off of, kind of. Not anymore. I mean, not anymore now that we've moved back to America. So that's why we've definitely ramped up and brought more content into this whole thing. All right, on to the next questions from Aaron K. What kind of music are you into? I actually really like this kind of stuff that's playing. I've gone all over the place though. I listen to Ludovico Einaudi pretty regularly for orchestral music. I listen to Ritual, RKCB for kind of calmer music. Sometimes I'll throw on some Millennium for some good dubstep. Yeah, I'm all over the place, to be honest. You'll find me listening to Outkast at times. So I wouldn't say if there's any one particular genre that's my favorite, but definitely more calm music lately. That's for good reason. Need some calming these days. And that goes, yeah. So the next question was, do I have a favorite band or artist? And that's, yeah, I would say favorite artist right now is probably RKCB. But historically, it's been all over the place. I've loved Illenium, Lupe Fiasco, at one point Kanye back in the beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Graduation kind of days. But yeah, I'm mostly all over the place when it comes to music, to be honest. I listen to a lot of stuff that's not lyrical anymore. Next question is from Shifty. What's your all-time favorite mission in a Halo game? That is a question and a half, dude. Oh boy. I've always really liked Assault on the Control Room, Halo Combat Evolved. That's still, when I try to think of a mission that I really love and remember, I feel like that is the one that pops out to me the most. I'm trying to think of any others. Nah, I think Assault on the Control Room is really the one that got me the most for forever. I mean, that's the oldest game, right? Any genres that I avoid, Punji? That I avoid? No, not in particular. Like, there's no music that if I heard it and I recognize the genre but also liked the song, I'd still turn it off, Like, if the song sounds good, I'll listen to it. Unless it's, like, crazy and, like, hateful and, telling me I should die and that's not fun. I don't want to listen to that, so. Probably not that. Aditya Wagma asking about if I played the last patch of Cyberpunk, the latest patch of Cyberpunk, right? So that's patch 1.5. Cyberpunk just put out a new patch to try and help fix the problem that was Cyberpunk 2077. I haven't played it yet. No. Haven't gotten a chance. Honestly, I'm really far behind. I'm working basically non-stop right now because I'm a little bit behind. I'm hoping that maybe I could pick it up at some point in the next couple months, maybe stream it a little bit, but it's gonna be, I really need some time. I mean, it's been plenty of time. I just feel like I'm gonna go back into that game and judge it based on my original experience, and always hold that against it, because it was just so disappointing. And honestly, what they patched up sounds great, AI and some better reactions and less graphical glitches and all that jazz, but it's still not really the RPG that I thought it was going to be. So I don't know how I feel about it. All right, and our last pre-picked question before we move on to the supporter questions from Discord, from Nano, asking, what is my favorite movie at the moment? Ooh. I've been watching a lot of limited series and documentaries lately. So, I will say, how about this? What was the most surprisingly good movie I saw last year? I can answer that one. Actually, was that last year? It might have been the year before, but I saw this movie called The Invisible Guest. It's on Netflix, and it's starring the Spanish actor Mario Casas. I didn't know him before I watched this movie, but I saw that movie, and we went and we watched like 5 others of his movies, and he quickly became my favorite Spanish actor. Probably my favorite actor outside of, I guess, English-speaking actors, to be honest. I've never really ventured too far into that market, but like, yeah, I love it. I love his acting. I love the movie. It's really, really good. My all-time favorite movie is The Prestige, and this one kind of has some vibes. Not necessarily in the story, but in the sense that like they always keep you hanging until that last minute when you realize, holy crap, this was going on the whole time. It's like one of those twist kind of things. The Invisible Guest is the name of the movie. Definitely go watch it, and if you do, come on the Discord and let me know what you thought, because whoo, it's a good movie. I want to know if I'm wrong, if I'm just overhyping myself, because I love love me some Mario Casas. And now, let me throw on the Discord questions. We got quite a few here from Punji. These are all just, he said, just use as I like. So I'll just start from the top, man. And how long are we on right now? I don't want to go too long. I want people to be able to sit down and watch this real quick. So I'll pick and choose based on what we've already answered. First question is, how are things? Just in general, not specifically anything. This is not a great day to be answering that question, Punji. Things in general are a little stressful at the moment with the general state of everything. Me personally, though, I'm feeling better. You know, I've been getting into the gym a little bit more recently after honestly just having so much work to do in January and some of February. Been getting back into the gym. Been trying to take a little bit more time for myself, let myself stress a little bit less, because I've not been living the healthiest life with the stress and stuff going on. So starting to definitely take better care of myself now, and I'm feeling a little bit better. My body's feeling better, and I'm excited to be going back to Turkey. Actually, we're going back in a little bit to see my wife's family, get to hang out there for a bit. And then hopefully by the time we get back from there, we're looking at an apartment to move out to. So it's a lot going on in life right now. Looking forward to it though. Second question from Punji. Is there anything you've ever heard about as far as food or drink goes that you will never try? Not really. There are definitely things I'm hesitant to try. Certain types of bugs, certain parts of animals, cooked in certain ways, of course. But there's no dish I've ever heard of that I've been like, no way, nope, won't do it. I've definitely gotten more picky though in my tastes. I wouldn't say picky. I've learned, I think, I've gotten more confident in knowing what I like in the last 10 years maybe. So, and 4 of those 10 years have been out of the country. So it's been a lot of growth in my palate recently. Next question. Do you zig before you zag, or do you zag before you zig? Oh, dude, I can't answer that on camera. I'm sorry. I can't. It's a little personal. Any cool shows or movies you've seen recently? We're currently watching that one show, Inventing Anna, about the scammer. Oh my God. I won't even get into it. What else though have I seen recently? Honestly, I'm not gonna be able to tell you off the top of my head. But we've been watching some good stuff. I mean, we were watching The Expanse. We haven't finished the new season of that yet. I started Arcane. I never finished that. Oh, that's cool, but I don't know. I didn't make it all the way through the whole series. You know what I'm really looking forward to, actually, it comes off the top of my head, is Snowpiercer. I think it's a TNT series, but it shows up on Netflix, and holy crap, it's good. Based on the original book, I believe it's adopted by the same director who did the movie, Bong Joon-ho, and it is really good. It's on, I think they're coming up on season 3. I would check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Question 5, how's the puppy doing? Honestly, I don't know. I don't hear much about him. It kind of sucks, but yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. He's at our house, our farmhouse there, but nobody is actually there on a daily basis because only one person who can access it lives there right now. Everybody else is currently doing other business elsewhere. So right now it's really kind of some person who works for the family drops some food off for them every day. And I hope that they're doing okay. We have no other news though. So we'll have to find out, I guess, when I go back in March. Let's see. That is a long question, Punji. What's my go-to adult beverage in general, and what's my go-to adult beverage if it's available? Oh man, let me tell you. Squeaky chair. I like me some water. You smell me? Nah, I don't have a go-to. Alcoholic beverage-wise, a Moscow Mule. It's usually my favorite. But yeah, you won't find me like banging on the walls for it or anything. In my behind-the-scenes videos, I have things stacked on boxes behind me. What's in the box? What's in the box? This is like a little thing. Like a, you know, one of these things with the storage crates. Show you what's in one of these boxes. This is a little paper art that my wife made for one of my subathons last year, and it's always stuck around. You can actually see a lot of her art. Here's the Patreon tiers over here on the door. She's awesome, but she does a lot of the drawing and art for the marketing stuff that we do on the brand before Cass takes it and turns it into something, you know, shiny and fancy. And then there's a couple other things. Here's Johnny Silverhand. Got this before Cyberpunk came out. And then here is a book from Paul Jones. I'm sure you guys have seen it, the one that he wrote. I haven't gotten to read it yet, but wanted to grab it to support him. And it sounds like a cool book, so. But yeah, that's what's in the boxes back there. Nothing too crazy, but it's some fun stuff, some cool stuff to look at. Yeah, the big bennies, the nudes back there. Any musicians that I am all but stalking? Not right now. Before, I was very, very much very much in contact with Millennium. I kept reaching out to him when I was making music and he was getting started. But that's about it. I don't get too into following the artists, especially not recently. When I was living in Turkey, I lost track of artists, sports, a lot of my friends, family. That was kind of a big reset for me. So I'm still not quite picked up from there since we've just been working since we've been back. Question 10. You had some criticisms regarding some of the recent ship sales, but I was wondering if you had any comments, negative or positive, about the Quadbike. Was that a positive ship sale or not? Guess in terms of function, PR, and etc. I don't think they did a great job on the PR with the launch of that thing. It was kind of weird. Like they teased it, and then they teased it again, and then I think they gave it out to like content creators and maybe subscribers or something, and then they started selling it. I didn't really understand the rollout of that. That being said though, I'm gonna reserve judgment for whether or not that was a good release based on what they do the rest of the year. Obviously, you know, they could have released it with Pyro if that's what it's needed for. But I like to hope that we can start to look at these smaller releases and little things that they do as maybe a sign of things that are to come. I know that's kind of crazy. It's CIG. We can't plan ahead like that. But no one can hope, right? Maybe someday they'll get into that energy, but regardless, I don't have much to say about it. It's $25, right? It's not a huge thing to release. It's a solid token. It looks like a lot of people bought it, but I wasn't too crazy about it. I'm excited to see another hovercraft though. So that, I think, is all of our questions. That's about it. Real simple, real easy, real nice. This has been Space Tomato Answers, while the community questions. And I appreciate your questions. Again, if you'd like to be here live for these guys, feel free to join as a Patreon. I believe it's Onions and Up get to jump in here live. But as always, guys, I put out a post on the community about mid-month asking for questions. You guys can talk, ask about anything at all. That's like, you know, safe for YouTube. But besides that, guys, I appreciate you being here. Make sure to check out the new podcast episode coming out. It's going to be a good one. And I'll see you all next month. Have a great time. Bye.